Okay, welcome. It is 6:30 on the dot, and we are here with your host, David Norrie. Guys, I'll tell you what, this is going to be one of the best weeks ever, and the reason why is because we're all working for the goal. So I am outdoors today. This is 6:30 a.m. This is part of our routine now. This is my office for the day. As you can see, the sun's going to be coming up behind me. And I wanted to show you some inspiration. So we're always going to start off these calls with some really good tips. I want you to open up your ears. I've asked a few people to read some messages I gave them. So I want you guys to open your ears and listen. All right, Liz Merritt, can you start off? Unmute yourself and then read it.
Confidence has a sound.
Confidence has a sound. Kate Pinnard. Kate?
I'm sorry, did you send me a private message?
Yes, I did.
Okay, sir, one moment. Yes, I see a chat. Every conversation is on the job training.
Awesome. Jim Pendleton.
What if nutrition is the answer?
What if nutrition is the answer? Kristen Flanagan.
Morning. Your body is your business. You have to take care of it or your business goes away.
Awesome. Connie Sato. Unmute yourself, Connie.
Sorry, I didn't know I got a message. I'll have to check it really quick.
Okay. Gus, go with yours quick.
You can't lead a cavalry if you think you look funny on a horse.
Awesome. And Connie's is, I'm going to say Connie's is, don't say it, just do it. So let me repeat these. Okay, Liz Merritt. Confidence has a sound. So what we're saying there, confidence has a sound. When you talk to people in your voice and your posture, confidence has a sound. That's huge. Kate Pinnard said, every conversation is on the job training. Yes. So no matter if it's day 1 or day 365, every conversation you have in Isogenics is going to be unique. Every conversation is on the job training. Every conversation is going to get you one step closer to being a master. Because remember what David Wood said, every master was once a disaster. Jim Pendleton said, what if nutrition is the answer? What a great question to propose to people in a text message, in an email, in just asking them if you're having lunch with them. What if nutrition is the answer? Because what are they going to say? They're going to say, what the hell does that mean? What are you asking me? What if nutrition is the answer? And it gives you an opportunity to open up a whole dialogue. Christian Flanagan, this is one of my favorites, especially in our business. Your body is your business. You have to take care of it or your business goes away. Remember we talked about yesterday being a product of the product. If you're not taking care of your body, if you're not showing progress in some way, then your business is going to suffer. People want to see if this thing is working, that you're telling them to invest their money in. You're asking them to invest and they're saying, well, is it working for you? And like I said, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be entering a fitness competition. You just have to say, yes, it's working for me. I'm getting better sleep. My energy throughout work is better and my pants are fitting better, right? You don't have to be a fitness model, but you have to have a journey. Connie Sato's was, don't say it, just do it. Guys, this is my favorite. How do you know it's my favorite? It's on my phone. Whoops, how do I get that on there? Anyway, it's on my phone. Don't say it, just do it. That's the one I had at the beginning of the year. So many people say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You wait and see. I'm going to hit Crystal Manager. I'm going to be an executive. I'm going to talk to 10 people this week. Don't tell anybody about it. Just go quietly about your business and do it. Because the people who are most successful aren't the ones out there telling everybody what they're going to do. They're the ones that are just going about their business. And Gus was the last one. This one's funny. I love this one. Think about it, guys. You can't lead a cavalry if you think you look funny on a horse. Okay? You're not going to lead your team. You're not going to be successful if you think that you're not a good speaker, if you think that you can't do this, if you think that you look corny talking on Facebook Live or any of those things, okay? You can't lead a cavalry if you think you look funny on a horse. So thank you all. Guys, I had a dream last night. This is serious. I had a dream I was signing up somebody. I had a dream I was talking to a personal trainer that I used to know at my old gym back in Tampa. And I was telling him, what are you doing with your life? You have this awesome body and you have these amazing talents, but you're not using them. You're not using them to better your future. So that's how much I think about Isogenics and what we're doing. As we move along, I want to say we're going to extend this. So the news here is I like this so much, and so many of you guys have been responding in the morning. I put up a schedule yesterday, so we're not going to have it every morning, but we're going to do it on Tuesday mornings and Friday mornings. Okay, it's still going to be the same time, 6:30 Mountain, 9:30 Eastern. Wait, 8:30 Eastern. Okay, 5:30 Pacific. So every Tuesday morning and every Friday morning, this will be part of the regular schedule to help you get your days off to a great start with intention. Couple quick lessons. Yesterday, Angelique and I were driving in the car. Now, one of these things had absolutely nothing to do with Isogenics. It was a personal goal, something we had set up. I guess I can tell you, Angelique was going to be on a magazine cover, and she was all excited because it was about mothers and how mothers are being fit, and this is something we really want to promote for her brand. But unfortunately, what happened is when the editor called her for the story, it's a magazine that's affiliated with not another network marketing company, but they're just affiliated with, I guess, a nutrition store that sells their own product. And they didn't want to have somebody like Angelique on that was going to talk about Isogenics. And she had been excited about it, but she did not flinch. She called the guy back, the editor, and she said, I understand, I'm not disappointed. This is what happens. And then she said, another door will open. Because she had been looking forward to this and it was a big opportunity, but she didn't go cry. She didn't pout. She didn't get angry. She just said, God's closing this door and another one will open. And I swear to you guys, within a half hour, we were at lunch talking with one of the potential biggest business builders that we will ever have. And we're going to talk to him today and try and sign him up. So I want you to remember the lesson of this story. If one door closes and you think something in your life, whether it's Isogenics or something else that's related, even in a relationship, if you break up with your boyfriend or girlfriend, and you have a divorce, one door closes, God will open another door. Just what David Wood said this past weekend is there's events in life and then there's how you react to those events. So I want you to remember that. The event was Angelique got called and she said that they couldn't use her for this cover. But she didn't react to it in a bad way. And how she reacted to it set the tone for the rest of the day. And it set up the conversation we actually had less than a half hour later at lunch, which is going to blow everything out of the water more so than if we had ever signed the contract to do a cover. Just remember that. Rise Up Challenge. Okay, so the Rise Up Challenge that Hillary Courtney and our upline, Chris Harder, Hillary Courtney, Ryan and Heidi Engelbert, Hayden and Emily Vavra, this whole Rise Up Challenge that we're doing, guys, it's going to be huge. There's going to be a special call for that, I believe, on Sunday night to give you more details. Because remember, you have to be, I think it's, 2-star and above to get there. And it's going to be awesome, awesome weekend. You're going to get to hang out with Jim and Kathy and going to do a lot of cool things. So I just want to keep that in your mind. We're going to keep pushing that challenge. Okay, so let's get to some really actionable stuff now. Actionable stuff. This is my challenge to you guys. I got 2 challenges. Remember I said we were going to release some stuff this week? So I got some great news. This is a lookbook. How many of you guys know what a lookbook is? Everybody should. Okay? How many of you guys, by show of hands, have a lookbook? Own one? Not a lot. Sound Concepts in the back office. My challenge for you is purchase 1 or 2 lookbooks. Okay? And my challenge is take it with you this next month. So if you work in an office, all I want you to do is leave it on, if you can, leave it on the desk. You don't have to say anything. If you are going out to lunch or coffee with friends, I want you to bring it and just casually, just bring it there and set it down as if you were reading it. Okay? Wherever you can, I just want you to take this lookbook with you and see if it's a conversation starter. When people say, what is that? What are you reading? What's a lookbook? And you have the opportunity to flip through the pages. Okay? Great, great conversation starter. It's a simple tool that not enough of us are using. And the other thing is an incentive. Since we are a product-driven company and we want to be everybody to be a product of the product and we want everybody to have a great product experience first, I am going to do a challenge now. Anybody that makes their way into the lookbook will get an extra $500 from Angelique and myself. But anybody who signs a person who makes it into the lookbook, anybody who enrolls a person who makes it into the lookbook will also get $500. Okay? So guys, you already get money. So that's yours truly right there in this lookbook. Okay? I got $1,000 from the company for being a ISABody. I wasn't even a finalist. I was a honorable mention. So if you're an honorable mention, you make it into the lookbook. So $500 for you if you make it in extra from Angelique and myself. And if you sign somebody that makes it in, you get $500. This is so important. We have to be products of the products. We are not using the tools correctly. We are not doing the simple things like putting this on your desk every day at work or taking this into a coffee shop, because maybe the person you're having coffee with isn't going to ask you about it, but maybe it's the person that comes by. Maybe you have this page open with this lady and someone's like, who is that? What is that book? You have an automatic conversation started. The other thing we're going to talk about is I want to talk about U+2. This is so important. David Wood had us work on this. Who was at University in Action? Chuck, you were there, right? Take off your mute there and just tell us, how many times did we work on your U+2? How long did we work on that for?
I think about a minute or two. It was quite a bit.
We worked on the U+2 in our 30-second story for the better part of a day. So your 30-second story has to come off your tongue perfectly. And when I say perfectly, it means it's got to sound unrehearsed. So it's perfectly rehearsed, which makes it sound unrehearsed. And then you have U+2. So U+2 is the simple, basic starter of every conversation you have about Isogenics. It starts off with, how can you get your products paid for? And there's two different ways you can do it. You can show them using a President's Pack, or you can show them using a Getting Started Pack. So I'm going to call on Gus first because he's a leader, and I know Gus knows U+2. So Gus,
Yeah.
You don't have to write it down, but if you can just have a sample conversation, if we were here, and you just said in 5 minutes, let me just show you quick, David, how you can get your products paid for. And I want you guys to listen to Gus, and then I want someone to volunteer next. We're going to have at least 3 people do this, because even though it seems mundane, right? All you guys probably go, I know U+2. Oh yeah, I know U+2. No, it's mundane, and you have to practice the mundane to get it perfect. So the floor is yours, Gus.
Cool. So can I talk to you, David?
Yes.
All right. Cool. So David, you've been on these products for a few weeks now, and we're getting ready to come up on the end of your first month. You've told me you've had a really great experience. You're feeling more energy, and people are starting to notice. Do you have any interest in getting your products discounted or paid for on your next order?
So I can get my products paid for?
Yeah. There's our company has a really, really generous referral program.
Okay.
If you'd like to hear more about it, I'd love to show that to you.
Yeah, I would be interested in that. Why not?
Awesome. Who do you know that could benefit from these products the same way you just did over these last few weeks, off the top of your head?
Well, you know what? I have a personal trainer who's always asking about, different things. We're always talking about nutrition, and my wife is very much into nutrition. So I guess I would probably go to those two first. Awesome.
And that's cool because it only starts with just a couple of people that you know to really start getting your products discounted here with the Isogenics referral program that we have. And this is the point where I would now show them the U+2, them +2 on paper in some way. But if I was explaining it, David, how would you like me to move forward from here without the pen and paper? Yeah, basically say if you bring in 2 people, just do it without the pen and paper as if you were drawing it right now. We'll just listen to the audio. Okay. So here's how it works. Here's you. And if you bring in 2 people on a President's Pack, the same way you got started, there's an $80 commission or referral that you're given for each of your President's Packs. Now, the really cool thing and the really nice, generous part about our company is that if you do that within the same week, they actually double that bonus for $160 on each of those. So you invested an initial $559 to start. 320 of those dollars are coming back to you right away. That's half off of your initial investment. That's going to cover your maintenance pack on your next month alone. Now, if they get the same experience that you just had and they know a couple of people who would be interested and you help them get their products discounted the same way I'm showing you right now, you're going to get another $100 for helping them get their products discounted. That now brings you to a total of $520 from your initial investment and more money on what you're going to invest in your maintenance. But it doesn't actually stop there. If you do that within your first 60 days, so if they get a good 30-day product experience and in the next 30 days help a couple people get started with you, Isogenics is going to give you another $250 on top of that for a total of $870 for sharing this awesome gift and how you feel and helping other people feel the same way you do.
That's awesome. Guys, how many people just listen to Gus and say how simple that is? I mean, how many people if we're not doing that, because everybody's going to want to know the price. And before we tell them the price, thank you, Gus. That was awesome. Before we tell people the price of the product, we're doing the cost conversation. Remember, that's the very first thing we're doing after we get them interested is we're talking to them about what they're investing, right now on 2 meals versus what they would be investing with Isogenics, either at $10 or $20 a day, replacing 2 meals. So even then they might say, well, geez, I don't know. It's still, I'm worried about the price because it always is your main objection, what's going to happen typically. So if you went through that and Gus said, hey, if you just simply show 2 people how to share this the same way I share with you, automatically you're making more than half. I love what he said. You're making half of your money back on your maintenance pack. So all of a sudden that investment goes to nothing and then they end up making money. He goes, wait, that's not it. We're not done there. We're going to take it to the next step. We're going to start making money. And then you see you can make over $800 by simply sharing U plus 2. So when you're doing this and you're following up and you're actually showing them with the little circles on the napkin, this is the key to growing your business. So let's go back to what was the initial thing that I said. You can't lead a cavalry if you think you look funny on a horse. So if you think you're not doing this right, if you think that you don't know how to do it, you keep practicing because what? Every conversation is on the job training, okay? Every conversation is on the job training. Every time you have this U plus 2 conversation and you write it out, it is on the job training. If you totally massacre it on the first try and you get halfway through and you're drawing circles and you're drawing arrows in different directions and you're adding wrong and you're saying, I think there's something wrong, that's fine. You messed up. Guess what? By the 10th time you do it, by the 20th time you do it, by the 100th time you do it, you're going to have that thing mastered and you're going to continue to grow your business. Let's try it one more time. Who's brave enough to try it with a getting started pack? Judy.
Okay. So David, I'm so excited that you have decided to start your journey to better health, but I want you to know that by day 4 or 5, you're going to be feeling different and acting different. Maybe you have a little extra pep in your step, your skin is glowing. People may start asking you what's going on with you. So I want you to know that when this happens, that if you refer them back to Isogenics, there are generous referral bonuses that are available. So, and there's actually, if you're interested and if you are open to me showing you how to do that, there's a couple different ways to get your products either discounted or paid for. Would you be interested in me showing you how to do that?
Absolutely. I always like money.
Okay, so you always have the 30-day 100% money back guarantee. So if by chance you use the products and they don't work for you, then Isagenix wants you to get your money back. But I'll be honest with you, I've never had anybody do that, but I just want to make sure that you know that that is available to you, so there's no risk in getting started. And then also, you know, when we talked about your budget and how much this would cost, you're really just reallocating money that you're already spending today on food. So now you're just reallocating it to foods that are going to actually help you hit your goals. So you could actually be saving money there. And then the third way to get your products discounted or even paid for is the most exciting part, which is the generous referral bonuses. So because you're starting with the best pack that we have available, the President's Pack, you're coming in or you're starting as an associate, and normally there is a $29 enrollment, but it's actually waived with that particular pack. And because you're signing up this week, you also get free shipping up to $25 off also. So David, who do you know that just wants to feel better, or, you know, maybe have more energy, people that just two people that you care about that know or that maybe need what you are looking for, or maybe you just need some accountability partners?
Well, my boss is always talking about, my boss drinks like 12 cups of coffee a day. So do you think he would be a good candidate?
Oh, absolutely. What's his name?
His name is Steve.
Steve.
And then I would say my next door neighbor, he's always joking to me about his love handles. And every time he's outside mowing his lawn with his shirt off, he's kind of grabbing his belly. So maybe I can approach him about this.
What's your neighbor's name?
Stu.
Stu.
Steve.
Stu wants to look sexy for the summer. Okay.
Steve and Stu.
Steve and Stu. All right. So naturally, because you're starting with the President's Pack, you're going to start Steve and Stu on the President's Pack. So when you sign up Steve, then Isagenix will reward you with $80, just simply saying thank you for sharing with Steve. And then when Stu enrolls in a President's Pack also, they will give you another thank you of $80. But what's really cool is that if you help Steve and Stu in the same commission week, which is Sunday midnight Eastern to Sunday midnight Eastern, both of those $80 double to $160 for a total of $320. Cool. So what you've done when you help two people is you've actually kind of like got promoted like you would at a job to consultant. So when that happens, Isagenix will just give you another one-time bonus of $50. So at that point, you've earned $370. Now, David, you care about Steve and you care about Stu. I know Stu's just a neighbor, but you care about those guys?
Yes.
Do you think they would also like to earn the same $370 you just earned?
Absolutely. They always like money.
So what's awesome is that when you show them or you help them find their two people, Steve and Stu, then you have done what's called you plus two, them plus two. And when you do that within your first 60 days, Isagenix will reward you another one-time bonus of $250.
That's awesome.
For a total of $620. So Isagenix rewards you just for sharing the gift. They also reward you for speed. So if you do this, you plus two, them plus two within your first 60 days, but then they also reward you for your leadership. So when you help Steve find two people and then you help Stu find two people, you have created consultants. So you get $100 for helping Steve and you get $100 for helping Stu. So you've just earned $820, which has more than paid for your President's Pack and then some.
So how could I say no? How could I say no? So guys, you see what's going on there in terms of what we're looking at. Now, how many of you guys right now think that this is something that you should be practicing? because there's a couple things that Judy and Gus did is they covered all the bases. There's that $50 you reach consultant bonus. If you help 2 people, you get $100 for them. You talk about getting Crystal Manager with it. Remember, it's 60 days now. So they extended Crystal Manager to 60 days. It used to be just 30. Just awesome. The things that they hit on that were really good is they did all the things that you as a person would want. They asked you about your goals. They asked you about who would you know. So some of the things I would suggest is if they want to ask you about who you know, give some references, because some people will just think, well, I don't know anybody. So you have to kind of jog their memory. Sure, you don't know anybody who needs more energy. You don't know anybody who has a stressful job. You don't know anybody who exercises. You don't know anybody who needs more sleep. So give them some kind of memory joggers, as I would say. The other things are we're using the words, this is strictly in terms of what we're talking about now from compliance and some of our vocabulary that we're trying to change. Those of you who have been with us a long time, in the past we talked about products. We're trying to talk about systems. So we're trying to get away from the word products, and we're trying to say if you use the isogenic systems. I love the fact that both Gus and Judy said generous referral bonuses. Generous referral bonuses. We like to stay away from things like commission. Even if you explain it to somebody, say, this is a generous referral bonus, and they say, what's that? You can say, well, it's like a commission. We don't want to say Isogenics pays commission. We don't want to say anything to do with really that we're selling, because we're sharing. And the other thing is we're getting away from the term rank advancement. We're going to say, if you complete this within your first 60 days, you reach the second leadership level, which is Crystal Manager. If you get 2 people, you reach the first level of leadership, which is called consultant. So it's leadership level instead of rank advancement. And my other thing before we get to some questions is when you're doing this, as you can see, you're working with numbers and you're rolling it out. Sometimes it can be mundane. Sometimes people get afraid of numbers. They get afraid and this conversation drags out. So what I would suggest is every once in a while in the conversation, you ask an enrolling question. An enrolling question is just something like, hey, if I could show you how to get this paid for, would that be good for you? Yes. So that's a simple enrolling question. You're asking them permission, and it's almost like a rhetorical question where they're going to say yes. You can be funny. You could say, now, if you get 2 friends on this, I can help you get your initial investment paid back. You do have friends, don't you? You know people, don't you? So you're kind of just asking these little enrolling questions along the way that help them kind of confirm, A, that they're listening, and B, it kind of breaks up the monotony of a conversation about money with numbers, because some people just tune out. So with that being said, do you guys have any questions? Does anybody else? Okay, let's go one at a time. We have I
have a couple comments.
Okay, go ahead, Judy. We'll go with you first as I bring Angelique back into the conversation here.
Okay, I thought I saw Del Rey on here earlier, but I have to really thank her for being able to do U+2, then +2, because I literally watched her when she explained U+2, then +2. I think just by explaining it, her video was only like 8 minutes and something long, but I watched it over and over and over. And, really, I tweaked it a little bit to make it my own. But otherwise, the way she says it, it sounds so natural and easy. So I would definitely recommend you guys watch hers, because it's short and simple and relatable. And that really helped me a lot. And then when you mentioned earlier, when you ask people questions like, who do you know, and they can't come up with someone. I just wanted to share that last night I did my Zoom, and there were 6 people on there, and I've done Zooms weekly for a while now, but this one was just different because there's people on there I don't even know. But I did run into something that threw me off, and that was people who just did not say anything at all. Like, I could not get them to engage. Like, they weren't on video. All you could see was like the little phone with the phone number. I didn't even see their name. So when people didn't say anything, it kind of threw me off. So, I mean, it was really a learning experience to get used to that and not get derailed, I guess. But then I kind of struggled with, I want people to be engaged, but then I understand that Zoom is very new and maybe uncomfortable for people. So I don't want to pressure people to speaking either if they're not comfortable with it. Because when I do Zooms, I'm just used to everybody being engaging,
right,
and we all talk and we're all comfortable.
because we're all isogenics people and we're used to it. Yeah. So when you have new people that aren't used to it, and they're kind of. So two things. First of all, I'm glad you acknowledged Delray for helping us with this U+2 and being so good at it, because this is part of the reason that Angelique and I were so passionate about bringing this to you this week in practicing. Because when Delray was here visiting for the Welcome Home Challenge, she was waking up every morning before the sun came up doing this with her team. So if you guys have your teams, and it's 4 or 5 people that will join you, have them practice this. Like Angelique said, master the mundane. And the other thing, Judy, about what you're saying is, if you ask questions, if you can see them and call them out by name, remember some of the questions that we ask when we show people a video. It's the question, what did you love about this? So it's not a yes or no, and it's not a who wants to do this. If I'm on here and I say, hey, John Oliver, what did you love about what Judy just said? Then John Oliver kind of has to respond and say, well, he can't just say, like my daughter says, who's 4, everything she says, good. Hey, Ella, how you doing? Good. What are you up to, Ella? Good. What's going on over there? Good. Right? So John Oliver, if you said, John Oliver, what did you love about what Judy just said? Go ahead, John.
We can't hear you.
Can't hear you. No audio.
And I did ask open-ended questions, and I still nothing. So that's what was kind of tough. So I even prepared myself. I did prepare myself for that in case no one did. Then I started sharing what I got from the video that I played, but it did throw me off a little bit.
You know what's funny? As you get more comfortable with that, the best thing to do is humor. If you can ever do humor on that, you're asking questions, nobody's saying something, instead of you feeling like this moment of panic and freeze and, oh my God, nobody's saying something, just state the obvious. Go, am I speaking in a different language here, guys? Is anybody listening to me? I am speaking in English. Like something like David Wood when he's on stage and he messes up, he says, oh, I just got these new teeth in, so it's hard for me to talk. It's always good to break the ice that way. So great stuff. Who else we had some other questions about this U+2 story? Yes.
I have a question.
Let's go with Kate first.
Okay.
Kate had her hand up. Who else just said it?
Just a first quick note, I changed my last name to my married last name. I'm sure my husband will appreciate that.
Okay.
So it's Delray Raj, and I can repeat that again in the future. But my first question is, where is Delray's 2+2, them +2 video that I can master?
Where did you see it, Judy? Judy?
I have it saved. I can post it.
Yeah, so Judy's gonna post it. Judy's gonna post it on SNS.
I can also send you because of compliance. Corporate is changing the script a lot for reasons that are the industry. So we have diversity in action, and also a photo of that from our workbooks into Isolation. So the best thing that I can offer you outside of memorizing another video so that we all maintain compliance right now is memorize the script. And it literally takes you line for line. Yeah, Patty's holding it up. So Patty, if you want to take a picture of it and put it in Isolation, that'd be great. Otherwise, I will. I gave a couple of our things away to some of our associates that weren't there. So I'm thinking I still have one left. But it's so much easier to follow the script.
Okay, cool. And Kate, you had one more question? You have to unmute yourself because I muted everybody again.
So my next question, really quickly, I've heard it from my friend Nevin Rosenberg, but also I would like it reiterated here from you, David and Angelique. How do you dance around or directly address pyramid scheme questions?
Well, okay, this is the best one because you're going to get it all the time. So what we do is, first of all, you say, if someone says, is this one of those things? Is this a pyramid scheme? You say, well, what is a pyramid scheme? Make them define it. Because most of the time they're going to be like, well, it's, and they don't even know what they're saying. That's just a canned response to what we do. And I use the word no. This is something with a business model. I posted something yesterday from PK Smith, who's one of our trainers. It says, this is one of the best business models, a legitimate business model, but you have to treat it like a legitimate business person. So if they ask if it's a pyramid scheme, you ask them to define it. What is that? And say absolutely not, because by definition, a pyramid scheme is when somebody gets money from something with no product or anything attached to it, nothing changing hands. This company is 80% people who simply order products. 20% of the people actually participate in the business. So by definition, that can't be a pyramid scheme. Bernie Madoff was busted for doing a Ponzi scheme because he was taking money from people and not giving them anything back. That's why we lead with the product first. That's why we don't talk about things as much like rank advancements. That's why you always say everything in our company begins with a good product experience, because we're scientifically driven, we are scientifically proven, and that is what we are. We are a health and wellness company that just happens to have a direct sales model to move the products. And I always like to use the term business model. This is our business model, and then I use the term direct sales. I don't never use multi-level marketing, because we're not. We're not a multi-level marketing. We are a network marketing company, okay? Now, network marketing, some people have a little funny thing about that. If you like to prefer the term direct sales, this is what direct sales teams do. So I would go with that.
And
Thank you.
one last thing you can add to that is, and you make it really simply, you can say, after asking them what a pyramid scheme is, because they won't be able to define it, and then say, well, those are actually illegal, and I would never do something like that. But this is actually one of the largest health and wellness companies soon to be in the world, using a network marketing model, which simply means we're just taking the products direct from the manufacturer to your doorstep.
Yep.
So all of the money is reserved for products, research and development, and word of mouth referrals. That's it.
And then say, do you know any pyramid companies that have made the Inc. 5000 list for the last 9 years? Do you know any pyramid companies that their CEOs have been nominated by Ernst & Young as Entrepreneur of the Year? Do you know any pyramid companies that have a AAA rating from the Better Business Bureau, or that have letters of merit from the United States government? All these things we've learned, but these are all the things, and typically if people are asking that, they don't know what they're talking about in the first place. And you got to get back to the conversation at hand. The conversation at hand is, what do you want to do with your health? I had somebody talk to me yesterday, and the girl was talking about, well, my husband likes to make me food when I come home at night. I don't do this. I haven't had time to take the shakes. And it all comes back to, that's fine. That's fine. And I said, don't be rude, but you simply say, I don't really care if your husband makes you food at night when you're tired. I don't care if you don't want to make a shake. I'm here to serve your goals. If you need more energy and you want to look better in your jeans and your dress, and you want to be able to have a healthy life moving forward, that's what I'm here for. So we don't want to be rude. We just want to redirect people back to what the point of the conversation is. We are consultants in health and wellness. We help people achieve their goals. We help people lead better, healthier lives. We can help people in a financial situation improve their financial thermostat and make some money. But it all starts with a good product experience. All right, a couple more questions. We had some other ones.
I do.
All right, who's that? Yes, Michelle, go ahead.
Okay, quick question. So when you're breaking down the U+2, the M+2, do you guys gauge who you're speaking to as far as going into the cycling bonuses?
No.
Okay.
Are you going into cycling bonuses with your first initial conversation with them?
Well, because I just noticed between Gus's and Judy's breakdown, his had a difference of $50. So I was wondering if maybe he was tackling in the cycling bonus on his breakdown of it.
We don't talk about any of the residual income really on, like, no one's talking about you're going to make a cycle. So U+2, because remember, if you get into all that, there's 9 different ways you can get paid now with Isogenics. And if you get into bonuses and executive and you get into cycling, cycling is one of the hardest things to explain. It's the best thing about isogenics, and it's why we have residual long-term income. But that's something, if you try to explain that to someone at first, they're going to go, oh my God, this is another job. I don't have time for this. But if you say, look, all I want to do is have you share this with 2 people to help you make back some of your initial investment and share the gift of health, anybody can do that.
David, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can, John.
Okay, perfect. Michelle, one of the things I love to use that we've been using is just using that word generous referral bonus. And don't talk about anything with the cycles at all. It really could. I messed that up at the beginning. I was telling people about cycles and BV and 600 and 300, and it just gets really confusing. So just right off the bat, hey, it's a generous referral bonus that only you can get. I want to help you get it. It's the same system that they already were getting, but I want to help you help 2 people in 1 week because the company is going to give you this great bonus and they're going to double it. And then people are like, oh, they're going to double it in 1 week? Great. I want to get that second person, to help them out. So that helps out a lot with me when I just explain that to people.
Awesome. Thank you,
Awesome.
John.
Thank you. I have one more question. So when you have these Zoom calls and, you're being consistent with it and you're getting more people hopefully coming on, like Judy's situation where she had 6, I mean, you can't really focus on each person in one hour window. Would you just make it a general call to kind of open it up for Q&As and then jump off on a one-on-one appointment?
Yeah, so after you end the presentation and you have some people, you might have some initial conversation. First of all, you thank them. Go, thank you, that's my presentation. If any of you guys would like to know more, we could stay on for a minute here and chat live, or you could inbox me and you, in the little chat screen, you send them your phone number or your email, whatever you feel more comfortable with. But then what happens, you might get one person asking all the questions, the other person are sitting there. So you have to be able to manage that and say, answer a question quickly and directly, and then get to other people or say, look, that's all the time we have. Please inbox me. But the key is to manage those people and make sure everybody has a chance to speak.
Okay, awesome.
Any other questions? Any questions? Gallery view? All right. So I want to send you a message. Hold on, hold this for a second here. So, this whole week I was wearing the number 13, right? And I was wearing the number 13. Why? What was the message? Anybody know? Who's paying attention?
Because it was told it was unlucky.
Because it was about making your own luck. Okay. I wore the number 13 because I want to be responsible for my destiny. I want to make my own luck. I don't want to be reliant upon other people. I don't want to have to buy a lotto ticket because I have dreams of traveling and I have to buy a lotto ticket to get there. So this is my jersey. Nobody knows. This is old school Cleveland Cavaliers jersey. But there was a guy, and this is why I got the jersey on the back. See the name? Free. Freedom, baby, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about freedom. So everything I do, I like to have a little message. Part of it, too, is because the color orange. Angelique and I talk to a lot of people who are involved with Orange Theory. Now, although it has nothing to do with isogenics, you got to realize the reason why Orange Theory was invented and the reason why it's been successful is because it's for people who don't have time and they're on the go. It's for people who are business people and need to get in and get out and get a good workout in. So they care about their bodies, but they don't have time to spend at the gym, and they just want to not think about things. They don't want to think about what they're doing. So how does that relate to isogenics? Isogenics is easy and simple and fast. It's for people who are on the go, who don't want to have to think about how many carbs and how many protein and how I'm making this food. It's just guzzle and go. Your nutrition needs are taken care of. So I like to kind of make that correlation. That's the day and age we live in. When people say, well, why do I need this shake? It's because, well, you're not going to eat 4 or 5 times a day healthy by making it in your kitchen. If there's anybody on here right now that makes 5 meals a day in their kitchen completely healthy, I'd like you to speak up. If there's anybody in here a day that makes 3 trips to a restaurant that's completely organic, that you know what they're putting into their food, that you feel that gives you a great meal every day, and you can do that for less than $10 a day, you can speak up. What we have to do is make people realize the conversation, and the conversation is convenience, complete nutrition, in organic fashion, right? And then you have to realize that we have to eat 4 or 5 times a day to keep our metabolism high. So what are your other options? If you're not doing isogenics, tell me about what your day looks like. I guarantee you're heating something up in the microwave, or you're going through a drive-through, or you're spending a lot of money on food in a restaurant that you still don't know how it's prepared. Any closing comments?
No, I'm disappointed that I missed you +2, then +2. Did you share with why that I wasn't downstairs?
Yes.
Okay. So we just had a really rough night last night.
That one right there, although she looks happy and healthy right now, was not feeling good all night.
No, poor thing. She's going through a rough time. But I'm here. So that's all that matters. And no matter what, we constantly stick to our commitments, and we ask that you all do the exact same thing. Follow up with people. David and I are having an awesome week personally. By the way, I want for you all to congratulate Kelsey Byers. As soon as I put it in the group, she just hit Crystal Executive. Yeah, so that's another personal enrolled executive of ours, and we're super, super, super proud of her. So for all of you that are gunning for it, there was a time when she was going to give up. So don't give up. Don't ever.
Hey, Angie, can I make a comment on that? Yeah. This weekend, she was at UIA, and they asked us to come in early and greet people, all the Crystal executives, or all the executives above. And she was a director. And I go, come on. She goes, but I'm not an executive. I go, I don't care. You're going to be, right? And she goes, well, and I'm like, you have to think like you're going to do in the future. She goes, okay, so I'm going to hit her right now and be like, did we not already manifest this? Yeah. And that's the thing is, like, I remember being at the first event with her at NYKO, and she catching that vision at the same time we did. We met Gus, and that was just an unbelievable experience. So you have to think in the future, guys. This is not short term. This is long term. What do you plan on doing? And then listening this weekend to the people, it's not a 1 year, 2 year. It might be a 3, 5, 7 year. Think about your careers, the amount of time that you've taken to get to the status that you're at. And this isn't linear income. This is residual, which then keeps growing. So that's really exciting.
John, real quick, that statistic, since you're the numbers guy, about how much you would have to invest versus how much one cycle would get you a year. Can you explain that real quick?
Right. So one cycle is $54 a week, which equates to about $2,808 a year. That's rounded up to $3,000. At a 3% yield, if you were to put money into an investment that you made money on, didn't lose, which a lot of investments lose, at 3%, you'd have to invest $93,000 in a bank account. So does anyone have $93,000 that they want to have sit there for a year just to make $3,000? Because if you do, I'll take it from you and I can invest it.
Who has 3% return these days?
Nobody. Right. Nobody. Right.
And you're putting in 3 times the amount of money to get 1%.
Imagine if you're making 5 cycles.
This is important. Go right from the beginning again. I want people to get this message, because remember, some people don't care about the business. We have a lot of people say, I'm not interested in the business, right? Then those are the same people that are putting money in their bank. So say it again from the beginning so people really hammer this message home.
Right, guys. So one cycle a week, $54, right? It's $2,808 a year. And at a 3% yield, if you were trying to make $2,008, you'd have to invest, I think it's $93,500. Somebody can do the math on it for me. Let's just call it $95,000. So if you have an extra $95,000, you want to just sit in the bank for a year, just to make close to $3,000 return, then that's what we're doing. So imagine if anybody's made more than one cycle a week, or if anyone's made more than, let's call it $200 a month. If you've made more than $200 a month, it's like having $93,000 in the bank. Now take that equation times 10 cycles, right? 10 cycles. What would you have to have in the bank? Or 20 cycles? Or, so that's the thing that we don't realize, is that this residual income then just keeps building. And that's what the beauty of it is. It's like having this investment, a nest egg, a 401k, something that's going to be there in the future.
And furthermore, guys, I want you to remember, I posted it yesterday. It's Jim Coover, right, the founder and CEO of the company, explaining the comp plan. And you can start at the 6-minute mark because he's doing it live. So the first 6 minutes are kind of leading up to it. If you want the meat and potatoes, he says he researched all the other companies. Jim Coover joined like 5 or 6 network marketing companies before writing this comp plan, right? Because he wanted to see what worked and what didn't, what they did that was good and what wasn't. So he researched it. And then he talks about why the BV is certain BV. Some products have a higher profit margin than others. So that's why not everything has the same BV. You know, if you're mining stuff in the Himalayas for Shilajit, which is in Ionic Supreme, you know, I mean, that's going to cost more money. So perhaps there's, you know, a different BV associated with that. So Jim Coover explains this for anybody who wants to know the compensation plan, for anybody who wants to master it. I posted it yesterday in ISA Nation, and it's Jim Coover. Now it's about 50 minutes, but it's 50 minutes of your time. When someone asks you something, you're going to be able to better explain it. So that's there too. With that being said, I'm going to let you guys get started with your Friday and your weekend. Remember, 3 days left to hit your goals. We want it the best week ever. I want to stamp somebody with the best week ever. And remember, we're going to be doing this every Tuesday and Friday from here on out because I love the response we're getting. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you next time.